Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Malicious Compliance. Story 1. You don't want to wait in the ed if you insist. Don't know for sure if this fits here, but I thought you guys would appreciate what happened tonight. For starters, I work as a security guard for one of the few hospitals in our city. Besides dealing with combative patients/visitors and doing patrols around the campus, we occasionally get asked to assist with getting people out of their vehicles and escort them by wheelchair to the emergency department, ED, or their appointment at an on-site clinic. Today, a couple of nurses came to our office, asking for our help. They had received a call from a gentleman, who we will call Gerald, asking for help to get out of their car, as he was in severe pain. I went out with the nurses, pushing a wheelchair and radioing my partner to come assist, as it sounded like it was gonna take some extra hands to help him out. It took a little bit for us to find him, but we found him thanks to him blowing his car horn for all to hear. Now, I have interacted with dramatic people before and this guy was no different. He told us all about how he was in so much pain, how he drove himself all the way over here and couldn't move the car anymore, and how he needed to be treated. We tried to offer help, but he refused to grab our arms or hands to steady himself, relying on the car door and the wheelchair to get himself in it. Once he got himself settled, he asked me to move the vehicle to a better parking spot. After all, he had handicap stickers and he needed the space to get in when he finished his visit here, so I obliged, feeling a little bit odd about the whole situation, and moved his car to a handicap spot near the ED entrance. Gerald got checked in at the ED and we were done with the situation. At least, that's what I thought. Boy, were we wrong. Not even 20 minutes later, I get told that this guy wanted to leave and wanted us to take him back to his car. Apparently, he started complaining and moaning about how the wait time was too long. Keep in mind that there were people in the waiting room who had been there for hours. The ED was very full today, and this guy couldn't stand being there for even a few minutes. I first checked with ED staff because I was worried about the fact that he himself said he couldn't drive. They told me that since they hadn't triaged him and he wanted to leave so soon, they legally couldn't hold him here even if they wanted to, which they didn't care that much since they were already busy with treating their patients. So, I went back out to the ED and asked him point blank if he was really sure he wanted to leave, because I didn't want to be held responsible in case he drove and got into an accident. But he said yes, he wanted to leave right then and right now. So, I reluctantly pushed out of the ED towards his car. This is where my malicious compliance begins. Gerald starts saying, verbatim, when we get to my car, I'm gonna call the ambulance. Me, wait, what? Gerald, yeah, gonna call an ambulance. I can't drive and I don't like everyone here except you. They're too slow here and I'm not spending all night here. Besides, calling an ambulance will get me to a room quicker and I can get help with my pain. Me, so, you want to call an ambulance to take you to the ED when you are already here at an ED? And all that because the wait time is too long for you? Gerald, yeah. Me, you realize that if you call an ambulance, they may just take you back to the waiting area and have you wait there, right? Gerald, yeah, I know that. I'm still gonna call. Me, well, okay, if that what you want to do. So, after helping the guy into his car, I decided to let him do just that. At that point, there was nothing else I could really do. After all, I'm just a security guard, not his doctor. So, I just pushed the wheelchair back inside and went about my business. About 30 minutes later, I'm looking at CCTV footage and right there, next to this guy's car, is an ambulance. My jaw dropped. The guy actually called 911 for an ambulance and they came. I continued to watch as the AMT workers helped this guy into a gurney and place him into the ambulance. Then, to my utter shock, they drove off campus. I had thought that they were going to drop him back off here, but they freaking left for another hospital? I then realized a couple of things. 1. This guy's going to another hospital and going to be gone for who knows how long. 2. when he gets discharged, he's not going to have a ride because, you guessed it, his car is over here at this hospital. Plus, our policy is that if a car's parked in our lot for a few days and we've confirmed that the owner is not here, we have to call the police and report an abandoned vehicle. So, this guy is now getting additional costs added to his medical expenses because he took the ambulance, possibly have to wait even more in the ED of another hospital before being seen, and may rack up some fines for abandoning his car depending on how long he's there. All because he didn't want to wait in the ED with everyone else. But hey, guess 20 minutes was way too much for him. Edit. Just found out that the car was taken early this morning, so no car fines for this guy. Story 2. I'll meet the call count but won't make the calls count. I worked at a call center for a collection agency for nearly 5 years. Anybody that has worked in this type of environment knows that there are all sorts of targets that are expected to be met, be they daily, monthly, or whatever. One of our targets was to make a certain number of calls per day, I believe it was 120. Naturally though, the more contact you would make with debtors the less time there was to make other calls. It's usually not an issue but some days you might make significantly more contact than others and sometimes your call count might be like 2/3 of what it should be. We would get regular updates on the call count. Manager would let us know if we were on track and at the end of the day they would give you the final results. I found it very annoying when you would have a successful day, collecting debts and generating revenue for the company, only to have a manager dwell on your call count. Any protest of, yes I didn't meet the call count requirement but hey, look at the revenue I generated today. It doesn't matter, the target must be met. Even if it wasn't a successful day but I knew I still ended up spending much time in contact with these debtors in attempt to collect. I would ask managers to review my talk time to see that the efforts were being made to do what we are hired to do. It doesn't matter, the requirement must be met. Now, to be clear, a call only counted if someone picked up or the call went to a voicemail box that wasn't full. The system was unable to register events otherwise, not in service. Voicemail box full, rings out with no VM box or answer, meaning if you were to make hundreds of attempts in one day only a fraction are registered. Everyone is aware of this but it didn't matter to the company. Well, I was tired of the unfairness of it all. It also doesn't help that the company was grossly scheming our bonuses that my department's client provided to us as a reward for successfully collecting on these debts. It was really obvious when our bonuses became random numbers when it was only possible for them to be multiples of 5. Frustrated with this literal theft and underappreciation of successful collection, the whole point of the job, I decided to comply with the call count expectations and never be under the target again. I created a notepad file with a list of all the telephone numbers that went straight to voicemail. These are often numbers that have blocked us or presumably the owner of the number set up as a way or something. From then on I made sure to make 15 to 20 calls per hour that would register, implying that even more calls were being made that they just couldn't see due to the way the system registered calls. I would spread these calls out so my activity wouldn't seem suspicious and would spend all day reading articles on the internet. Naturally, the revenue I had been generating decreased by about 80%. How come you're not collecting? Well manager, you can see I am surpassing my call count target and my talk time is very low so I'm just not getting the opportunities to do so. It should be noted that whatever I was collecting after doing so was really easy, the people whose accounts we received who could pay and wanted to pay anyway. Often these people would call us so I just relied on that to make it appear like I was doing anything at all. They started giving me lower value portfolios to work, which is fine by me. You are stealing my bonus, the very incentive I have to do more than the bare minimum anyway for a paycheck. I honestly thought I was quiet quitting, but no, I had a reputation as a valued member of our department and company, so no one wanted to fire me. I guess they just chalked up my lack of success to the shit portfolios they were assigning me. Steal my bonuses and dwell on a target that would be better judged as a marker of effort rather than an end-all be-all and I couldn't care less. I was getting paid to read. This went on for nearly 2 years until I had to leave for mental health reasons. Story 3. Company cybersecurity group sends email telling us to report suspicious emails, so I report their email because it was suspicious. TLDR, company head of cybersecurity group sent email to 6,000 plus employees with example of suspicious email that should be reported. Turns out that was a real phishing email with active links to malicious site. So I reported it to cybersecurity group. So the TLDR is pretty much the whole story. I was working for a large company in USA that had over 6,000 employees nationally, and we had an entire IT group dedicated to cybersecurity. We had to complete training every quarter online regarding different routine cybersecurity topics like phishing emails and such. We even had a dedicated email address that you were supposed to start a new email to and then attach a copy of the suspicious email to so they could see all pertinent data you can get from the direct email. So one day I get an email from the head of this cybersecurity group, and it is an email talking about a specific phishing email that apparently a number of employees reported. I noticed this email talking about it was sent to all 6,000 employees. As I read it, I see that they included the text of the phishing email in it. I assumed as a picture file or something. Nope. It was truly copied into this email. I hovered my mouse over the links in the email, and they pop up very suspicious paths to websites that I'm sure had malicious software. I couldn't believe it, and I thought maybe they were testing us to see if anyone clicked on it. I followed the procedure and started a new email to the email address dedicated for this purpose, and I attached the email from the head of cybersecurity. I sent it off, and I got an automated IT job ticket creation email thanking me for reporting it. A while went by without hearing anything that day, and I thought maybe this isn't a test. So I sent an email directly to the head of cybersecurity telling her the links appeared to be active and clickable and suspicious. She replied with thanks. We'll take care of it. And I never heard anything more about it. My job ticket also got closed without comment, LOL. Story 4. Leave the team sure. I was in a bowling from 1991 to 2009. My older sister was also. This situation happened in 2000 and 2001. So I bowled with 4 friends, and to say we were a good team is an understatement. We didn't have any trouble winning trophies and getting better with our bowling. But during 2000, I had to miss some weeks due to tournaments, and when I returned, other bowlers in the league would explain what 2 of my teammates were doing. Bullying. Only to one person. A former teammate from years earlier and a good friend to me. My friend Jimmy. Sure, he was slowly getting better, but he didn't do anything to get bullied. My 2 teammates bullied him when they had the chance. When I confronted them, Bobby and Joey, I was surprised they admitted it. They took it a step farther. Bobby, yeah, we did, and? Joey, what are you going to do? Leave the team? Bobby, sure, actually do it. Leave. We are better off without you as a teammate. Joey, you are nothing without us. You need us as teammates. Me, I won first place before, but sure, I will leave. 2001 comes. I'm now back to bowling with Jimmy. He managed to get 3 of his friends. Bobby and Joey, I guess, saw the teams, or maybe were told by someone, because from what I was told, they were shocked I left. Not sure why, they told me to leave. I am competitive, but I also value my friends. I made it clear I wasn't going to watch as a friend and former teammate is bullied. My team won first that year and Bobby's team was second. Bobby eventually begged to bowl with me years later in 2004 because he had nobody to bowl with. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.